Is Australia a very boring country to live in? People on Quora are sharing their thoughts. Liz Gabrielson commented, "It's really quite extremely boring, with miles of white beaches, crystal clear blue oceans, and sand so clean it squeaks in some parts of Australia. This must be awfully frustrating for the locals. The Great Barrier Reef is so boring that everybody wants to go there. Yet, it is the biggest generator of a tourism income in the country. There's also Kakadu National Park in far northern Australia, which is extremely boring too, containing millions of years old untouched landscapes and Aboriginal rock paintings in caves. Those crystal blue waterfalls and watering holes are so boring that you wouldn't want to swim in them. No, not at all when you see them. The cafes, restaurants, bars, nightlife in all major cities of Australia are so incredibly dull that some venues were voted world's best, especially in Melbourne and Sydney Harbour. Not to mention rooftop bars, the rich mountain scenery, the rainforest, those glorious sunsets. Perhaps if you are bored enough, you can sport a Southern Cross. What a shitty experience, for fuck's sake." And yet, worst thing about all this is when you're out with your family and friends.
The barbecues are free.
Completely free. I can sit outside and enjoy my wine and barbecue at home in the outdoor kitchen by the pool and not to worry about the weather most of the time. How dreadfully awful to have to live this way. To which Wayne Martin replied,
"Australia used to be decent country about 20-30 years ago, but nowadays is a complete shithole. The only people who consider it decent are the migrants mess from third world nations. Its restrictive policing and nanny-state ideology means cultural activities lack excitement. That's why Australia primarily focus on a food culture, and most conversations of entertainment revolve around food. Australians brag about the natural features and animals, yet at the same time have one of the worst environmental track records, such as extinction and mass land clearance."
Here's a few more comments from John Stack and Lisa Patterson. John thinks that Australia is a cultural backwater inhabited by a majority of outspoken overweight people, particularly women. Property prices and rents are astronomical in Sydney and Melbourne. Country is racist, aided by so-called liberal, conservative-based politicians. Aussies hate being criticized and have a la-la land mentality, where they believe anyone who doesn't want to live there is somehow deluded. Lisa Patterson disagrees with this statement and says that she saw only a few overweight women all out exercising on a beach. Rents are only expensive in the big cities and are no longer astronomical. And as far as La La Land mentality, most of Australians are generally honest and love overseas people and visitors.
But get you buddy piece
Phil McCravis believes that overcrowded cities, traffic, ridiculous cost of living, over-the-top food prices, and sky-high property prices will not let you feel bored but rather stressed. In fact, statistics show more Australian citizens are leaving the country for opportunities elsewhere than ever before. According to Phil, Australia is boring and there is no cultural diversity. And it has one of the bigger inferiority complexes of any major city in the world. I don't get it. So that was just a few thoughts of people from Quora. Let me know if you agree or disagree with them and why, and I'm gonna see you next week. According to Phil, Australia is boring and there is no color.
Brian Marley,